Brock, what is going on with the Mariners?
Yeah, Michael, they're just winning series, just kind of what they do. I know yesterday was kind of a little bit of a bummer. A couple innings got away from Logan and the crew there, but yeah, man, you win yet another series, 8 in a row, and you just kind of do it in different ways. You absolutely blast them Friday, Saturday, you win a really close game. You do a couple little things right. Jorge is fortunate to get on there. Williamson does his job to get him over. Rowdy makes it happen, and then the best closer in baseball, man. Best closer in baseball is finishing these games out. And, to not give him a lion's share of the credit, and I'm glad that our old WAR stat, wins above replacement, does and has him on top of this team, because that's just an enormous shot in the arm. When if we can build a lead, if we can be ahead at the end, we're going to find a way to punch this sucker out. And he has done it. He punched a series win on Saturday, and here we go with a first place baseball team now into May.
The word that jumped out to me, and I used it at 6:00, was variety. Just that they've got 20 wins here on the season, and it feels like they've come in every manner and type of win you can have. They've had wins that they probably shouldn't have had. They've had wins that they definitely should have had. They've had blowouts. They've had close games. They've scored early. They've scored late. They've had low scoring, high scoring, early comebacks, late comeback. I mean, you start adding up all the heroes, the different heroes, and I think that's maybe one of the reasons it's been a little hard to put just like a finger on. It's not like, hey, these couple guys are hitting and so. These guys are pitching and so. Like those teams are a little easier, I think, to put a finger on.
If I would have told you down there at your college, it's a college, not a university.
It's just a college. Yes.
It's your college alumni weekend.
Yes.
If I would have said, hey, Salky, guess what? On May 5th, Dane Looker's 49th birthday. On May the 5th, the Mariners are going to be in first place. You just said, cool. Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
AOS looks like it's a little down. I think we all felt that going into the season. Houston continues to have lost some talent, and we'll see with Texas. They've been banged up, but yeah, you kind of, that would have been within reason. If I would have then told you, Salk, you'd be in first place on May the 5th, and Logan Gilbert would be out, George Kirby wouldn't have thrown a pitch in the majors for you. Right? Victor Robles would have broke his shoulder the first 10 games of the season. Bliss would have torn his bicep. You just go through. Dylan Moore would be, Dylan Moore, and give you some home runs and be incredible versus lefties with a 1,600 OPS. Oh, and he too would hurt his hip, and he'd go on the 10-day IL. Luke Raley would be out for 6+ weeks.
It's funny. You go through of all of that. I mean, yes, I would be surprised. And yet I think the thing that would have, I might have said, all right, sometimes that happens in baseball and teams and players step up and adversity and this and that. If you had told me, first, you're right. I mean, that's crazy, everything they've done. If you had told me they won 8 straight series, I think that's the thing that I would have been most shocked by. The consistency of what they've done after kind of a slow start in the first 3 series, that to me has been the most impressive part, is that it's just been very consistent. Game in, game out. They give themselves a chance to win. And when they don't, they bounce right back the next day and win. So that consistency, that kind of everyday mentality, I think has probably been the thing that would have surprised me the most. First place, yeah, all right. 7 games above 500, surprising for sure. But just the consistency of it is really, it's just been unbelievable.
So it's from a player standpoint, if that's kind of a global look at it, and I don't disagree with that at all, from a player standpoint, who and what has been the most pleasant surprise? Lyle, you can weigh in on this as well if you'd like.
It's obvious. I mean, I don't know how you can answer anything but Polanco.
Are you sure?
Yes.
The best shortstop in baseball? I mean, Jorge's done it hitting right-handers.
I don't care. Polanco was so freaking bad last year.
Not playing in the field.
To be this good this year. All right, it's a good point. JP is close.
Yeah,
you're right.
I don't know about that. I don't know if you could say it quite so definitively.
I'm going to say it definitively. I mean, yeah. I am blown away, shocked by how freaking good Jorge Polanco has been, and it's been fun to watch. I love it.
Lyle?
Yeah, it's been unbelievable what JP's done. And we'll get into it a little bit more at 8 o'clock. If you want to try to make a point of what Brock's saying, Polanco does have a much more of a track record of being a very good offensive player in this league, where JP essentially has 1 year of it and then came back to earth in 24. And now you're seeing, you could argue, is even a better version of 2023 JP right now.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the best we've ever seen him right now, right? I mean, like between the on-base skills and then punishing the ball when they make a mistake. Both guys. I mean, it's just, it's amazing, this sport. And when you watch, when you watch, if you go back and just think about the helplessness of some of those at-bats they both took last year. Yep. And Buhner talked a lot about health with Polanco and how he couldn't use his knees. And as we said right after that interview, JP had hand and wrist and finger issues, which are not fun and also can really affect your ability to hit a baseball. Whatever the reason is, watching them do their thing now, it is like 180 degrees the opposite. Is there anybody else you'd even put in the category besides those two? I mean, Cal's been tremendous.
Yep. Cal's had some stretches like this, but my goodness,
right.
The power is just overwhelming when you're leading the league in all of baseball with those home runs. That would probably be three. Anybody in the staff? I mean, Emerson's had some. Woo, I guess, but Woo's had some amazing stretches.
I mean, Munoz, this is the best he's ever been. He hasn't given up a run.
That's right.
Right. I mean, you already mentioned him. Yep. So anyway, I mean, it's fun to give credit and spread it around, but at the end of the day, like, it's just working. Like they just find ways to win games, and I love the variety of it. I think that will really help them throughout the course of a season. It's only May 5th. It doesn't necessarily predict what they're going to do the rest of the year. But that trust that is being built amongst the players to believe in each other and keep the line moving and not try to hit a 5-run home run, it's leading to an awful lot of success.
Well, we were just talking about Logan Evans' start yesterday, and you asked Brock and I, like, oh, how'd you guys feel like he looked?
I didn't get to see it, so I apologize.
And
I did not get to see much.
Noted fanboy Lyle.
Right.
I mean, you would talk about his binky is
right.
either going to be Emerson Hancock or maybe even more so Logan Evans.
Yeah, he's a big Logan Evans guy.
To be fair to Lyle, I did hear Shannon saying a similar thing to what he was after.
All right, so I didn't get to see the game, so I was curious how, he'd given up so many runs and sort of what happened. I said, how'd he look?
Yeah, so, and Brock said, I thought he looked tough. I thought he got hit around pretty hard. And I was like, I don't really think that's what happened. And look, if Logan Evans had a third inning where he had given up 3 home runs, what am I going to say? Yeah, it would have been a tough inning. But when you really break down what happened in that inning, it went basically like this. So Josh Smith hit a single to left field that was a bloop single, and there was some metrics out there, and it got tweeted out that ball probably should have been caught. Like, you could see JP was going out, Randy was coming in, maybe there was a lack of communication because the catch odds on that ball were 93%, and the expected batting average on it was 140. Like, I think Randy's got to make that play. So that happens. And then Ben Williamson misplays a ball that should have been a double play and ended the inning.
By the way, is that because Randy's hamstring was hurt? Is that why he wasn't able to get to it? Well, he came out eventually with a hamstring pull. So was he not able to get to the ball because of the hamstring? Or is Dan Wilson pulling a little Tito and pulled him out of the game and then covered for him by saying it was a hammy?
So the hamstring thing looked like it happened after an at-bat when he got to first base.
So that happened later?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, he ran to the base, kind of grabbed him.
Again, didn't see it, so that was sort of the old Tito thing.
Sure.
Anytime somebody wasn't doing anything, oh, man, he got a little hammy. Hammy's barking, right? So I wasn't sure if there was any of that.
Sure. To be fair, you were on a flight back, so you couldn't watch it.
No, I couldn't watch it. Yeah,
right.
That's why I was asking.
Yeah. And then there was a ball that, was hit decently hard, but it's a play Ben Williamson should have made and ended the inning on a play that should have turned 2 for a double play. And the expected batting average on that was 170. And while then Logan did give up a couple walks, in that inning in total, he gave up 3 balls that were hit 80 miles an hour or less. Look, he didn't get hit hard. There are some days where it's not going to be your day and you're going to get roughed up. I really just thought this was bad luck and the Rangers finally having some things go their way in that Sunday game.
And I'm not going to poo-poo that. My feeling was when you just don't create swing and miss, right? And there just was not. We know elite pitching. We know what the other Logan can do, and we know what Woo can do. We know what Bryce can do. We're spoiled in that way because we see these guys that create so much swing and miss. And that is the one thing that just kind of jumped out to me. It felt kind of Emerson Hancocky, right? Where it's like, okay, you got out of it, but what was his whip yesterday? Almost 3. That's just not sustainable. And obviously most of that damage just in 2 of those innings. So I would agree he got BABIP'd, as the kids also like to say, the smart kids like to say. There's no question about that. But we're spoiled by swing and miss, and that is going to be a part of his game that's got to grow. Is that fair, Lyle?
Yeah, for sure. Like we hopefully we'll see more swing and miss as time goes on, and that's something to watch for, no doubt.
Hopefully in like 2 weeks we aren't going to see him, right? Like, I mean, and I say that not out of bitterness, but like hopefully in 2 weeks Logan Gilbert and George Kirby are back, and Logan Evans and Hancock are not in this rotation anymore. So assuming things go well, I mean, he's supposed to be 7th on the chart here, right? Yep. Right now he's in the 5 spot. So yeah, I think he's still got some time to work through some of this and work on that in AAA. What else did you see this weekend, Lyle? I liked a lot of these observations.
Man, there was a bunch. I'll try to rip through some of them.
Yeah.
Cal Raleigh to me right now is 2nd in the American League in MVP voting. I think he's only behind Judge. Yep. He is leading baseball in homers. He's top 3 in the American League in WRC plus. He's top 5 in OPS. These are the things you have to do to win an MVP.
Why is he definitively behind Judge?
Have you looked at Judge's numbers?
Yeah. I know. I was setting him up for the answer.
Have you looked?
I was setting him up for the answer. Thank you.
Yeah, Judge is hitting over 400 right now, and I think the average batting average across the rest of the league is about 240.
Yeah, but he's doing it in Yankee Stadium. Does that even count?
Right.
400? Yeah, that was pretty good. Bryan Woo continues to dazzle is the next take of mine. All but 1 start so far of his have been quality starts. For a guy that struggled so much to work deep into games early on and until late last year had never worked into the 7th inning, man, he's been on fire. He's like a 6-inning plus merchant at this point. It's just every time.
It is pretty amazing. Like, he was the guy you had to baby last year, and now he's leading the staff.
I mean, he's saved this rotation a lot of the first month of the year.
Hey, Brock, Lyle said earlier this morning that there are that this team has 4 All-Stars, he thinks, right now. Who do you think they are?
Mooney for sure, Cal for sure, Woo is in that conversation. Then obviously JP's the best WRC plus shortstop in all of baseball.
Oh, so JP could be added to this. I said Polanco, but you could add JP too.
Yeah.
So I said Polanco, but yeah, if you want to add a 5th, I'm not opposed. Speaking of
maybe
JP,
Polanco is a DH.
Yeah, and it gets a little harder with Polanco, and I said definitively he'd be the one that's probably got the lowest odds right now, only because of how many other guys will be vying for a spot just to be a hitter.
Yeah.
So,
and he's going to be, I mean, he'll be on the ballot probably as a 3rd baseman, which is weird, but.
Right. Yeah, that'll be interesting. But speaking of JP, there's my next takeaway. The fact he is leading all shortstops in WRC plus, and man, he's since the first 10 games of the year, he's looked great.
Yeah. Speaking of Judge, by the way, it's not just that he's hitting 400; he's hitting 423. He's got a
little margin for error
on base. He's got a WAR of 3.1.
That is unbelievable.
I mean, it's just absurd.
That's Bonds-like.
You can
right?
call this you can call this
like
a hot
steroids Bonds-like.
Yep.
You can call this a hot take, but we are starting to approach territory with Aaron Judge where you're talking about arguably the greatest right-handed hitter to ever play.
Oh boy!
I mean, you're looking at right-handed hitters and career OPS. The only guys ahead of Judge are, I think there's 2 guys, and one of them played a very, very long time ago. It's a short list.
One challenge I think I would have with that though is for all of the great hitters that you would put into that category, you have to look at where they were at a certain point in their career. I mean, the one thing Judge hasn't had yet is the tail end of his career, which will bring down some of those numbers again.
Sure.
Yeah, Mike Trout, I think for about 4, 5, 6 years,
right,
you would say was the greatest right-handed bat. Right, Mickey Mantle, whoever else those other guys are. I mean, he was at that level, and then just injury and decay.
But obviously, what he's doing is unbelievable. And what JP's doing has been incredibly important to this resurgence this year. And we, talked about him a little bit before the year of like, hey, what was the reason behind his struggles last year? Could you attribute some of them to the injuries that he had? And I don't know if that's the reason, right? I don't know whether it's the reason for Polanco. But both guys do appear to be healthy, or at least not dealing with the types of injuries they had last year. And they're both they look like completely different ball players.
We don't have enough time to get into it here, but it does look like he's made a few changes that I think have helped him. One of them being, it looks like he might just not be swinging as hard and selling out for as much power, and it's actually helping him.